Hey, I'm back. This is Chandler from Melda Production. Today I'm going to be going over how to create synth-style sounds in MGuitararchitect. Now, it doesn't actually have synth in there, but there's some things you can do that are sort of synthish and might be useful if you're looking to do some kind of like riffs or things like that. I actually used this in a song I released recently called Serendipity, so if you haven't checked that out, look on my page. It's there. I released it maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, so you can check it out there. Anyways, let's get into it. So, unfortunately, MGuitararchitect hasn't been released, but it should be released soon, and I want to show you some of the things you can do with it here. We have this set up. I'm just using this template here. I have basic setup here, which has a gate going into amp, and then a cabinet here. Now, normally I'd probably change all this, but for this, it's not really so important. It sounds like this. Okay, so let's look at the first thing we have here, which is the subfilter. Now this can only be used monophonically, so you're not going to be able to play chords, but if you turn it on, you'll hear kind of what it does. So you're getting some of that, kind of sliding effects, etc. Now, if you turn the feedback up, you're going to get more of those, and it actually doesn't sound that good, because if I stop playing, it'll just keep going like this. You don't want that. So I like to set it, it probably depends on your guitar, but I think around like here is good. If you set it lower, sometimes the octave kind of goes up, I think. So that kind of gets rid of the effect. I kind of hear like an octave up, but maybe that's just me. Here also you have this sub, which is on by default, but if you take it off, it'll give you, instead of an octave lower, an octave higher, like this. So it's really versatile, you can do either one. And of course you have the low pass filter here. And you can set that to taste. So with this, you can get lots of synth effects, but of course, a synth probably has more effects on it than that. So I'll probably turn this to Hall like this. But also, let's say a chorus in here. Like this. Let's also turn that down, because that's getting way too loud. Now you can set that to mono too if you want, but I kind of like that in stereo. So that's one thing you can do. Another one that I particularly like with this, to make it sound more synthy, at least to me, is using the vibrato, which I actually don't use that much on guitar, but I think in here it sounds good. I can use the mono vibrato. Let's turn this up here. But I kind of like it in stereo too. So that's the kind of synth sound you can make and play with that. Like I said, it can't be used with chords, but for solo lines, it's cool. But let me show you one more way. Let's get rid of the vibrato here. Let's get rid of the subfilter. And let's try the octaver like this. So this will give us an octave below. So I'm playing these actually into a distorted amp, but you could play them to a clean amp, but I think it just sounds better distorted, so I'm doing it that way. So this one, you can take out the dry signal like this. I think it sounds better with it in though. And you can also adjust the octave. So let's say I want to add in octave 2. To me, that's sounding really good. You're getting that lower octave, you're getting lots of grind going into that amp there, etc. So you can set that however you want. I like it like this. But one last thing we can do is we can combine these together. So let's say I want to have 2 different lanes, mix them together in reverb. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this first one here. I'm going to leave everything except let's take the cabinet and add like a bass cabinet instead. So we have a guitar cabinet now. go to bass. Now, of course, we can mess with this more. I don't know which one's good. I don't know if that's a good one. I'll set it kind of in the middle there. Of course, you can choose whatever you want. But now, let's make a second lane, and let's do what I did first and use that subfilter. So let's first just copy this amp. Paste it here. Turn that off for a second just so it doesn't start causing noise. Let's do the same thing, copy and paste. But I don't want this bass cabinet here, so let's just choose a guitar cabinet. I don't know which one. Let's use aluminum here. It's right here. I'll turn this off. Turn this one on here. Just a basic guitar sound. Let's get that subfilter in there. Like this. Okay. One thing you notice, you're like, I'm hearing lots of noise, and you didn't hear that before. And that's because this isn't going through the gate here. So we want to just right-click on the subfilter here and make sure instead of auto, it's going to 1. So now it's going through the gate. Both of them will be going through the gate. Now we want to combine them both together. So what we're going to do is just turn one back on here. We're going to use a ratio module here. Make sure I right-click that. And for this, choose lane 2. And then choose steal the input so it doesn't come out here at the bottom. Okay. Now it should be mixed together. Now let's hear it. Now I hear the bass side is much, much louder. So let's move this here. And maybe I even want octave up, so turn the sub off. And let's do that same vibrato trick. So add in the vibrato, move this up, move this down. Actually, one more time, let's turn that down a little bit because I think the vibrato made it louder, like this. So I think with that, you're getting a good idea, and that's sounding like really far away from a traditional guitar sound. So that's something you can use to, double a riff or something, just to give you some cool ideas here. There's more you can do with this, and I just used the vibrato there, but you could use a phaser or a flanger or whatever you want. You can combine these in a number of different ways. So if you like this, please leave me a thumbs up down below, and also ask me any questions or leave any comments you want, and check out all the other plugins at meldaproduction.com. Till next time, see you.